my studio, quote unquote, is like a lot of different places because I move around a lot. So I don't really have that much of like a routine as far as the atmosphere. I have friends that, you know, like need to have a certain candle lit and, you know, this and that. I don't have that myself because I'm at a lot of different places. I don't smoke weed. I don't really have like a ritual. I feel like a lot of my studio experience, because a lot of my days are spent like juggling, doing different things, a lot of it seems to be like isolating the time I need to have the creative time to work on music. And then I just sort of dive right in. I usually have some ideas worked out in my head already, and I just kind of putz around until they successfully go from my head to like the session itself. You know, I'm not like professionally trained as a producer at all. I'm a DJ with ideas, and when I make songs, I just try to get those ideas out. Well, I think DJing's gotten to a point now where it's like more accepted than ever. We're no longer at a time where you have to explain to someone what being a DJ is. So I think DJs are here to stay. And then there's like a lot of roles where on one hand you have certain DJs just making pop songs. So a DJ could be a legitimate artist now. You know, that used to be something we would have to explain. You know, a DJ album used to be understood as a compilation album, which would put the DJ in the background. Now the DJ making songs is something that's accepted. So that's one thing. But I also think there's kind of a return to the original role of the DJ as the kind of the Pied Piper of the party, the person that brings a good time that audiences seek out and follow. I'm noticing more and more people talk about DJs as, you know, on some like, oh, so-and-so's playing at this club, I know that's going to be a good time, we should go check him out. You know, I think when EDM got really big and the DJ became like the bringer of pop songs, the provider of the journey side of the DJ identity took the backseat for a sec. I think that's coming back now. As DJs, when we're playing, performing, we have to figure out this balancing act between giving the crowd what they seem to want versus, you know, pushing an agenda that we have musically. I'm lucky to be in a place where, you know, I think certain people will come to my shows because either they know my reputation, or they may have heard some of my songs, or they've seen me DJ before, or all of the above. So I'm lucky to have a certain freedom to take the set where I want. And I know a lot of DJs have to deal with like the club owner breathing down their back, just saying down their neck, saying like, oh, I need you to play more commercial because I have someone paying a lot at this table, or, you know, such and such football players in the club and he wants to hear, you know, this record. I don't have to deal with that. I'm lucky. But still, in the scope of my DJing, it's always this give and take between, you know, giving a crowd a few of the songs they recognize and then taking them somewhere new. And the most exciting part is taking them somewhere new, for sure. That's the validating part of what we do, is, you know, breaking records and, you know, exposing crowds to sounds that they might not realize that they'll enjoy. And when you present it right and they do enjoy it, there's this sort of validation of like, see, I knew you'd like this. So a lot of times it just feels like, you know, giving a crowd this little doggy treat that says, okay, here's that song, you know, and then that buys you time of a few other records to go explore and open their minds a bit, and then you got to bring out the other treat, and you're just kind of going back and forth with that. Said respectfully. Yeah, with a lot of what I'm involved with, whether it be the music I make or what we choose to do with Fool's Gold, and Fool's Gold is a team, so it's a few of us that decide. I feel like in certain ways I've never really taken the straight and easy route, in the sense of defining a formula and delivering that time and time again, and, you know, running like the commerce angle. But to be honest, I don't even know if I know how to do that. Like, a lot of what I've done has been, you know, more of a complete picture that I try to paint. Again, whether it be what we do with FG or my own releases, you know, it's never really a straight line. It's always like, I like this, but I also like that, but also like this. And if you put all these things together, it gives you this sort of three-dimensional thing that I'm really excited about. And I'm very aware that there's a quicker commerce route that can work. I don't think that that's what I that straight line is not what I'm best at. Um, and it's also not what I'm most passionate about. I happen to be passionate about this sort of patchwork thing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and like having a message that emanates from all of that stuff combined. Um, that's how I think. That's how things come to me. There's things that I've done in my career that have been commercially successful, and I've tended to follow them up with something confusing, almost intentionally, but also I don't know if I would have known how to do the formula thing either. So I feel like it's a cop out to say like, oh, I meant to do it that way. That's just how I do it. I'm not sure why, but that's how I approach my projects. I use the hashtag real DJing in some of my posts, and I've used that for a few years, and it doesn't mean one specific thing, but it refers to, you know, a certain respect to the heritage of DJing and the craft and the amount of work that is supposed to go behind it. You know, the real DJing term really is something I started using when EDM got so big so fast that DJs became superstars really fast, and a lot of people started confusing producers and DJs, and a lot of people saw DJs as these figures that were on these big stages just kind of like putting their hands up as pyro was going off, and maybe not doing all that much work in some cases. And although I respect everyone that does, you know, everyone that makes up the scene, for me it was important to sort of like carry the torch and continue portraying a message that says that DJing is not all smoke and mirrors, and it's not all big explosions on stage. There's a real art to it, and it became a way for me to shine the light on all the things that make up that art, you know. And I think certain people got into DJing along the way because maybe it was, you know, a way to grab a check if you're a celebrity and you're paid to like be on a flyer and it says you're DJing. That's fine, and like there's no part of me that's ever wanted to take, you know, a check out of anybody's hands. But I think the definition that the DJ got sort of like watered down a bit and sometimes simplified. I just think it's important for me and my peers to continue showing people, you know, the full scope of what DJing can be and the amount of work and practice and training that's supposed to go behind it. For any of us that really deeply care about DJing as a tradition and an art form and something that we see ourselves doing our whole lives, you know, integrity is important to even our own longevity. DJing is like kind of an oral tradition. There's just, you know, you're carrying the family tree of so much shit as a DJ. So I'm just trying to ensure that gets passed along. What's fun now is, you know, for the last 2 years I've been organizing my own DJ and producer competition, the Goldie Awards. And a big part of the mission of the Goldie Awards has been to continue to bring even more exposure to the DJs and producers that, you know, are defining the next wave and that are incredible now, not because of something they did 10, 15 years ago, but now and moving into the future. So many of the DJs that have been on the Goldie Awards stage already in those first 2 years are keeping me excited, from Miles Bedina to K-Swiss to, you know, Buck Rogers, Yuto, you know, Rafik. All these DJs are amazing, and I'm still inspired by the DJs that have inspired me for years and years and years. I still watch Qbert and am in awe. I still love watching a J-Rock set, you know, the Craze, Jazzy Jeff. But I think it's really cool that I love seeing, you know, Brandon Duke, the DJ, who just turned 12, you know, who came in second at the Goldie Awards, and be like, all right, you know, the future's safe. You know, watching him, watching K-Swiss, yeah, that's what's exciting to me. I'm a Blueface fan, and I think, you know, if I meet someone, it's a way to suss out if they're trustworthy or not. You know, you meet somebody. It's not what's your sign. It's do you like Blueface? And if they say Blueface raps off beat, I say, have a nice day, my friend, and then I walk out.